And I'm the first person to admit I did so much wrong with the law school application process. Please, this whole video is just learn from my mistakes. Okay, I never filmed this late. I never filmed sit-down videos looking like this. But today is going to be a very juicy video. I'm actually filming this the night before my last final. This is a real-time upload, so I am uploading this tomorrow. I just felt like I really wanted to film this video right now because I'm in a very chatty mood, and this is a video request that I've gotten, and this is going to be a story time video, and it's going to be me explaining my entire law school application process from start to finish. I have so many videos about the law school application process, giving advice, documenting me going through it. You can check out that playlist, but this is kind of going to be the one-stop shop. Just the journey. I'm just going to talk about the journey. I think this might be beneficial to somebody. I don't have a very conventional application story in the sense that I kind of went into it blind and I did my whole application process that way. And I think I've learned so much more about the process since I started doing YouTube, and I've done so much more research for my videos and stuff that I didn't know about. Hindsight's always 20/20. So we're gonna do my whole story time. Buckle up, grab a snack, subscribe to my channel. It's vLAWgmas right now. I'm uploading a video every single day. I'm having such a good time doing it. It's so fun for me uploading every single day, and I hope this is a video you enjoy. I hope it's a more relaxed vibe, and we're just gonna talk like you're my friend, and I'm just gonna explain from the beginning. I'm not gonna get into a lot of the reasons why I wanted to go to law school because I've had a whole video about that called Why I Want to Go to Law School. Basically, I had an experience my junior year of college where I worked at a courthouse working with victims of domestic violence, and it was a very eye-opening experience for me in a lot of different ways. It's one of my most treasured experiences that I have. I loved that so much, and I felt so much passion for that, and it was very emotionally exhausting. I guess it just kind of showed me how unfair the justice system was, and that's what really motivated me. But I will say, I already was pre-law. I was pre-med initially. I knew I wanted to be a professional. That's just something I knew. I was pre-med when I got accepted to undergrad, and I realized very quickly that that just wasn't my strong suit. And I've talked about this before, so I'm really not gonna go that deep into it. I just realized that it probably wasn't matching my skills to do pre-med. So I decided to go pre-law. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. I just thought, you know, I want a pre-professional program. That's just something for me. I don't really know why I had that, but I knew I wanted to major in psychology, and I knew I wanted a pre-professional program, so law seemed to fit. And then I went through the motions. My junior year, I had that internship, and that's when it really clicked, like, yes, I do want to go to law school. The summer after my junior year, I knew it was around time to take the Lsat. Now, here's the thing. The program that I was accepted to from undergrad made it so your Lsat score didn't matter. So I went to St. Louis University, and basically they have a program where if you hold a certain GPA, you can completely bomb your Lsat and get automatic admission into the law school. And I know what you guys are thinking, bombing your Lsat, that's never an option. To me, for my first 3 years, I was always just saying, oh, I can bomb my Lsat and still go to law school. I didn't understand how important the Lsat was until after I had already taken it a couple of times, to be quite honest with you. I didn't grasp it. I just thought, you know, I'm gonna take this stupid admission test. I'm gonna get automatic admission to this school, and I'm gonna go there, and I'm gonna get a good job. I didn't even know what rank the school was. I didn't know what the T14 was. I knew nothing about the entire process. And I remember I wanted to take my first Lsat. Now, I'm gonna be including little random anecdotes here. I remember sitting in the car before my first Lsat. I had done little to no studying. I would say that the Lsat, the first time I took it, it was more of a diagnostic because I had maybe looked at a logic game or something. It was not something I was studying day in and day out for. And I remember I was sitting in the parking lot of the Lsat testing center, and I was just thinking, what if I have an appendicitis during the Lsat? That's literally all I remember from that day. I was just like, the whole time I was thinking, what if I have an appendicitis when I'm in there and I get wheeled out of the test? Like, these are the things that go through my brain before I'm taking this big test, right? And I was so scared, and I remember the room was so cold, and I remember I left and I felt good. I mean, it was a hard test, and I had never done a practice test, so my brain was really tired. I think one of the biggest benefits of doing practice tests and studying for the Lsat is that you get your brain used to that fatigue. And that's the same thing for law school exams as well. Now, looking back on it, law school exams, I've done practice exams for every single test. I'm used to taking a 3-hour exam. And so that's one of the big benefits of taking practice tests before the Lsat. I was not used to having that much brain fatigue and having to exert that much brain power in a single sitting. So that was really hard. And I remember I left and I think I went home and stared at the wall and I didn't think about it. And that was the summer before my senior year. I did not think about it at all, did no research, was on no subreddits at this point in time. I was just doing my thing, still thinking whatever the score is, it doesn't matter because I'm going to law school. I don't need an LSAT score, and that's very unlike me because I usually like to do the best possible, but I guess I was just in the mindset of I know what school I'm going to go to and I don't need a specific LSAT to get in there, so I'm just not going to exert my energy on it. Which, you know, looking back, I would have probably done things a lot differently, but I got my first score. I've been very open. I got a 153, and for a diagnostic, it's really not bad. It's not a bad diagnostic score. I remember Googling, is a 153 on the LSAT good, which led me to law school admission, because I thought 150 is the middle, right? 120 to 180. I thought anything above 150 is a good score, which is true, but compared to what people say on that subreddit, I was like, oh no, that's not a good score at all. And I was really disappointed in myself because I thought of myself as somebody who had a natural aptitude for taking tests. The Lsat is different. We all know this. We all know that the Lsat is a way of thinking that you're not used to. It's very text heavy. Those reading comprehension passages, those are worse than a lot of the cases that I've read in law school, to be honest. It's really hard. And I beat myself up about it and I was like, well, I'm going to take the test again in October and I'm going to do so well. And during this time, I still only had that one school on my mind. That was it. I was like, I'm just going to SLU. It's not, I didn't even care about the ranking. I was like, that's where I'm going. You know, it wasn't even a thought in my mind that I would end up somewhere else. It wasn't like I had these spreadsheets of all the schools I wanted to apply to and what numbers I needed. I was the least prepared possible, honestly. I was taking it so much less seriously than I should have been. And that's why I think I make these videos where I give this application advice, because I'm very on the camp of your LSAT score and your GPA don't define you, but I also want to tell you that it's a process that you can squeeze so much out of if you know. That's a weird euphemism, I'm sorry. Like you can really milk this process is what I'm saying. The process is a cow. If you have the knowledge, you can milk it. You can get more money, you can get more acceptances. It's so important, and I didn't know how important it was. I remember I have a vlog up on my channel of me last year in college. My last year of college, I'm taking the dumbest classes. I'm taking Acting 101, where we did yoga in every class. And I'm taking these classes that don't require any brain power. And, you know, one would think that I would spend all my time outside of the classes studying for the Lsat. The urgency just never hit me. It never hit. I had the test in October. I studied the week before, and I actually vlogged it and put it up on my channel. But I still wasn't studying that intently. I don't know, the urgency wasn't there, and I think that's because I didn't understand what was at stake. I think if I understood how important the LSAT was, I would have been working so hard to get a good score. I just didn't. I just didn't realize. I really didn't. I thought 153, they say it's not a great score, but it's still above half, and that's really all I need to get into the school I want to go to, so that's fine. And I think some people can look at it that way, but when law school is such an expensive thing, and you can study for this test that can make it so much less expensive, you should definitely do it. But I remember this was the time I took the test in October, and I raised technically November because the October test dismissed me. Long story, I have a story time on my channel. Technically November, I raised my score 5 points from a 153 to a 158. I was not expecting a jump that high, to be honest. And then I was very gung-ho, I can get a 160. At this point, me wanting to break 160 wasn't really for any reason other than the fact that I wanted to break 160. You know, it's just the next threshold. I don't think it was motivated by any sort of monetary factor, which it should have been. I just think I wanted to challenge myself, and I thought if I take it one more time, I can break 160. And that was a good score in my eyes. That's what I thought was a good score. During this time, a lot of you reach out to me right now and you're saying, I've submitted an application and I'm waiting to hear back, and I'm thinking, whoa, so many people submit applications so early, and I did not. I did not submit my applications until January. No, February. I did not submit my applications until February. So all of you that are worried that you submitted your applications too late because you submitted them in October instead of September, you are okay. When you guys tell me things like that, I think, wow, I must have been really behind. I'm surprised this worked out. But Anyways, so then I'm thinking I'm gonna take the January test. After I get my January results, then I will apply. So I spent a few hours writing a personal statement. That didn't take me that long. I spent maybe 1 or 2 days doing it, editing it, and then I was kind of done with it. But other than that, I was just chilling. From November to January, you know what I did to study for the LSAT? You wanna know? So here's the thing. I got a 158, I wanted to break 160. One would think, if you wanna break 160, you're gonna work for it. You know what I did? I ate Thanksgiving dinner. I went Black Friday shopping. I had Christmas dinner. And then I went and took the January test. I did no studying in between those things. Big mistake on my part. Please, this whole video is just learn from my mistakes. Be proactive in your application. Really, because that's the biggest thing. I somehow, miraculously, my story worked out in the end, and I'm very happy with where I'm at. But I did little to no preparation, so heed my warning. Do your due diligence, study for the LSAT, and be proactive with your application. So I got my January LSAT score back and it was a 155. I went down 3 points. And I'm not gonna lie, did I cry? Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think I've said this before, we all cry when we get our scores back either way. Like, whatever way it is, we're all gonna cry. But yeah, I was really upset when it went down 3 points. And you know, no one to blame but myself. I didn't study. And at that point, I felt like it was too late to retake and I was just gonna submit my application. I remember I was about to submit my application to SLU and I thought, you know, I'll throw an application at WashU. I didn't know how highly ranked WashU was when I applied. I didn't know really anything about it, to be quite honest with you. I just saw they had no application fee and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna throw it at it and hope it sticks. I didn't even see the 509 reports, okay? I didn't realize how low my stats were, and it was just my LSAT. My GPA was above their 75th, but my LSAT was low in comparison, and I threw it at them. You know, I just said, here we go. We're gonna submit both of our applications and we're gonna see how it goes. So I submitted my applications in the first week of February, which is probably giving all of you very proactive 0Ls a heart attack and saying you submitted your application so late. Yes, I did. I submitted them very, very late. And I remember, this whole story just, I feel so naive, especially hearing what other people do when they're applying for law school and stuff. I feel like I really lucked out. I remember I got I heard back from WashU first and they invited me for an interview. Now I know, with my knowledge, WashU gives interviews to everybody. Everybody gets an interview. At the time, I thought that I got an interview because I was on the edge and they were considering either rejecting me or accepting me. So I was thinking so much was riding on this interview because I'm on, you know, it could go either way. I could get accepted, I could get rejected. That's how I kind of viewed it. Madison didn't know. She didn't know. So I was really nervous for the interview. I remember I went there, and this was right before all the COVID stuff happened, weeks before. I went there, I sat in on a class, I had my interview. I have a video all about how I prepared for my interview and stuff. If you're interviewing at WashU, it is the most casual, cool interview ever. It felt just like a conversation. I've had so many of you ask me for advice about it and then come back later and say it really wasn't that bad. And it's not. It's great. And then I got my acceptance from St. Louis University. And here's the thing. I got an acceptance and I got a pretty decent scholarship. It was a scholarship for almost full tuition. 3/4 tuition, I think. And it was conditional. I don't remember what the GPA requirement was, but it was conditional. That I do remember. And I didn't think anything of conditional scholarships at this point. Guys, I am so much more knowledgeable now. If you're debating between going to a school with a conditional scholarship and a school with a non-conditional scholarship, I am always going to say pick the one without the condition. Conditional scholarships can be very predatory. Not always. I'm not saying that St. Louis University is a predatory school. I'm just saying for me, I would always take a non-conditional scholarship, even if it's for less money. Because the last thing you need during all the stress of law school is having to worry about hitting a certain GPA. Trust me, I'm living it now. I'm worried about so many things. I'm so happy I don't have to worry about maintaining a certain GPA. WashU does not give out conditional scholarships from what I am aware of, and I really like that about the school. So I got my acceptance to SLU, 3/4 tuition, conditional scholarship. Okay. 2 weeks after my interview, I heard back from WashU. I actually got a call at around 6 o'clock on a Friday that I had been accepted, and I was dumbfounded, because by this point, whenever I was researching for my interview, I did more research on the school. Obviously, I wanted to prepare to be able to talk about things I liked about the school, why I wanted to go there, and that's when I had seen how good of a school it was, and because I knew it was good, you know, if you're from the area, you know it's a good school. I realized just how good of a school it was, and how I was really lucky to be admitted. And they also gave me a scholarship. Now, I don't feel comfortable disclosing the exact amount of my scholarship because this is where I chose to go. Significantly less than the 3/4 tuition scholarship of SLU, but still a significant amount, and I was actually really shocked with that. I was faced with a decision, and this is where a lot of you are right now, where you're debating between two schools. And I have a unique experience, as my schools are vastly different. A lot of people will have a decision where they're deciding between 5 or 6 schools and they're all within the same ranking, and it's just about picking the one that's best for you. Mine were vastly different in that we have one that's ranked so low in comparison to the other one. We have a big money difference. So I was sitting here with this decision, and I weighed a lot of different factors when choosing, and initially it seemed like I was so excited to be accepted to WashU, but still leaning towards SLU just because I went there for undergrad. I felt like I had the connections and the money thing. That was pretty much point blank period. However, through researching WashU, I had found that they have programs I'm really interested in. WashU has so many clinics and externships that really interested me, and I thought that would be really cool. And WashU also has great employment numbers. If I want a big law job, which I am so sick of people hating on big law, I used to kind of partake in the big law hate a little bit. I don't now. I don't judge anybody who goes into big law. Big law is my goal after graduation. Just for, like, people say you do it for the money. You get really valuable experience working all the time because the hours are so long. And the money is a great bonus, especially if you are carrying debt. I will never judge anybody for going a big law route. You can always pay off your debt, go into public interest, go into something else at a later point in your career. But I think that's great. WashU had way better big law placement. I think it's around 50%. WashU's degree is a lot more portable. I'm not sure if I want to live here forever. That's a big thing. I wanted a degree where if I wanted to, I could move. WashU has great placement in other states. There are WashU grads all across the country. The alumni network is very strong. And I just weighed factors like that. The conditional versus the non-conditional scholarship came into play a little bit later when I realized that it's way harder to maintain a GPA that seems easy in undergrad. A 3.0 in undergrad seems easy, could be more difficult in law school. And a lot of schools will divide sections up to make people lose scholarships. I'm not saying SLU is one of those schools. I'm just saying that is something that's like a common predatory practice among schools that give out conditional scholarships. So that was pretty much a huge decision for me, and I was really stressed about it for a while. You know, I had this gut feeling, and I had this same thing with my undergrad. Like, I just stepped on WashU's campus to do my interview, and I know this sounds so cheesy, but wherever you are going to have a feeling, and you can tell me, Madison, I've been to 6 schools, I don't have any sort of feeling. You do. You have a gut feeling. I had this feeling, this is the school for me, this is where I want to be, I really like it here, I can see myself here, and it became a dream school of mine. Like, it really did. It was just, after I did that interview, while I was waiting for my acceptance, I was so excited. I was like, this is my dream school right now. And when I got accepted, I was so happy for a short period of time until I started to think, okay, now I have to balance. Which one do I pick? Do I go with the one where I'm going to take out more loans and I think it's my dream school? Or do I go with the one that's safer from a debt perspective? It's what I know. I have connections there. A lot of people I knew who were in the pre-law program at my undergrad went directly to the law school. So it was really balancing a lot of that stuff. I ultimately obviously chose to attend WashU. And after I made my decision, I did doubt whether it was the right one for like a couple weeks or so. And then I just kind of came to terms with it, and I kind of just felt really good about my choice. And I think to this day, if I would have went to the other school, I would have been wondering what it would have been like if I would have went here. I'm happy with where I'm at. I love this school. I'm like a poster child for this school. I think it's a great school. And I'm really happy that I'm here, and I feel really lucky and really blessed to be here. after I was accepted and after I finally agreed, I decided to do some scholarship negotiations, another thing that I was not versed in. I thought that, you know, leveraging a 3/4 scholarship from a school ranked 90th would do something, and they flat out denied me. Now, that's why I give so much advice of, like, if you're applying to schools in the T20 range, apply to a bunch, even if you have no intention of going, so that you can get those acceptances and you can get those scholarships from those schools and use them to bargain with the school that you really want to go to get more money. I didn't do that. That's really why I feel like I changed my channel into a law school channel. Obviously, that really wasn't the plan a year ago. I was posting videos really sporadically. I didn't really have a plan or a niche. And after I got accepted and after I started really researching, I learned how much I did wrong. And I'm the first person to admit I did so much wrong with the law school application process. I don't want any of you to make the same mistakes I made. Any tidbits of information I can give you, I'm gonna give you, because I want you to have a really successful cycle. Somehow I lucked out. I took the LSAT 3 times, I applied to 2 total schools, ended up at a phenomenal school, top 20 in the country, with a decent scholarship, and I don't know how it happened. I really don't. I will be the first to admit I made so many mistakes during the application process. And I want to save you guys money, stress, and tears by giving you the real unfiltered advice. I really do pride myself in my channel and how I really stand by the advice I give in my videos. A lot of people don't agree with my advice. A lot of people think I'm not as credible because I didn't apply to 20 schools and get 20 acceptances and a bunch of scholarships and I didn't get a 170 on the LSAT. That might take away my credibility for some people. For me, I have done so much research on this process since I started making videos about it, and I have so much hindsight of things that I should have done better, and I just want to share that with you. Even through vlogging my days in school, I have had comments say, thank you for giving a genuine look of what it's like, because some law school YouTubers don't show everything. And I am trying to document as much of my experience as possible for both you guys to watch and to think, oh, this is what law school is really like. It's not grinding 24/7. I have a final tomorrow and I'm here filming this video. I've been talking to a camera for 20 minutes because there are a lot of stereotypes about law school. I was so scared to start law school and I love it and it's great and I'm not overwhelmed and crying and stressed 24/7. The advice that I give is advice that I believe in, that I would have given my previous self. If I could go back to myself a year ago, I would tell myself all of these things. What I say in my vlogs, that's like me trying to prepare you, because I felt like the law school vloggers that I used to watch, I feel like they didn't give great insight into what they were doing, and I just wanted to do that. And not knocking other channels, I think they are great, and there are so many 1L YouTubers that I love that obviously weren't around at that time, but I just wanted to give a very unfiltered, real look at what law school is like. And obviously I'm posting a video every day in December. Obviously I have time, so yeah, that was kind of my entire application process. It was really stressful, and I can't imagine, it was stressful for me applying to 2 schools in February. I cannot imagine how stressful it is to you guys who are applying to 20 schools, patiently waiting, refreshing status checkers. I get it, but I will say, do not let it consume your entire life. Try not to get caught up in the hype of application season and being stressed and like constantly thinking about it and worrying about it, because it's not going to do you any good. It's the same thing with school. I could study all the time and I could constantly worry about what my grades are going to be when I get them back in a month, and I could constantly worry. That's not going to do anything for me. I recommend all you who are applying do the same. Try to find that balance. You have a life outside of law school admissions. It does not define you. Your acceptances, your wait lists, your rejections, your scholarship offers are not a direct reflection of you. And although I try to give as much advice as I can, I think that's the most important piece, because it's really easy to get your self-worth tied up into these arbitrary numbers, and it's not worth it. So I think this video was all over the place. I think I talked for about 30 minutes. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really just was in a chatty mood and I wanted to give a full story time for you, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Some of you like when I'm chatty, which is really nice. You put up with this because I can talk all the time. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to come back for tomorrow's video because there will be a giveaway announcement. It's nothing crazy. It's just, you know, something for me to say thank you to all of you who have subscribed to my channel and to get in the spirit of the holidays. Come back tomorrow for my giveaway announcement, and I will talk to you all tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Bye guys.